Good morning, happy campers. It's Suzy Q96 with her little cub reporter, Suzy Smart. Suzy gonna bring you some news today about lost treasure. Being as it's Wednesday, let me make sure everybody can hear me. Sometimes I have an issue. It says I have audio. It says I have microscopical device. So it looks like we're happening. It says I have microscopical. Get over here and turn the sound off on that, so I don't have echo. Oh, good morning, everybody. I have my coffee here. If I don't sound real excited, it was a day yesterday, boy. I told you guys the other night I wasn't real excited about making that drive all the way up to the ear, nose, and throat specialist. And yesterday I got a ticket. I didn't get just any old ticket, though. I got the strangest ticket that I have ever gotten. And while I believe the Wythe County Sheriff was trying to be nice to me, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go to court on this one and argue it. I was on I-77, and I had my cruise control set on 68. Now the speed limit through there is 70. And I have never had any issue with my cruise control being inaccurate. However, I went to pass a flatbed type semi. I have this phobia about driving behind these flatbed trucks with things tied to them. And the reason that I have that phobia is that I had a cousin named Danny Titus who he and his wife were on their motorcycle, and a truck liner bed came out of a truck and came back and slammed into the bike and killed my cousin. So I have this problem with driving behind loads that I don't think look too severe. So anyway, I had the cruise control set, and I went around to pass this truck, and this sheriff pulled me over. Said I was doing 77. Well, the speed limit's 70, so that's kind of iffy there. Good morning, James. Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't win too, but it was somebody else's turn this week. So anyway, the guy comes up, and I didn't turn the car off. I hadn't done anything. Everything's just like it was, including you can look right there and see the light on the cruise control was on, and showed what it was set at. So he asked me how old my car was, and I told him, and he took my license and everything, and he came back, and he wrote me a ticket for, I don't have the ticket with me, it's in my car. Anyway, the ticket was written that my speedometer was malfunctioning. Now, I've never heard of such a ticket before, but he said the reason he wrote that was because that way I wouldn't get any points on my license. Because it wasn't like a moving violation, it was an equipment violation. However, it was $106 equipment violation. I don't believe I should have gotten the ticket in the first place. First of all, the speed limit was 70. I was doing 77 to pass this truck, but it clearly showed when he looked into the vehicle that my cruise control was on and that it was set for 67 miles an hour. So I'm afraid I'm going to end up having to go down to the court and argue that one because I just don't think it's fair. There were people going way, way faster than me out there. And truly, I can't afford a $106 ticket, and I have never heard of such a ticket. Oh, here it is. I do have it. You see exactly what my charge was. So this is before I ever got to the doctor. Oh, now everybody has left. I have no viewers, so I guess it doesn't matter what I got a ticket for. I received a ticket for defective speedometer. Huh? Yeah. Defective speedometer. Now, my speedometer is always like 100% accurate, so I don't know. I do appreciate that he was trying not to put points on my license, but listen to how the breakdown on this thing is. The fine is only $30. Then there's a $51 processing fee and a $25 local fee. So the actual charge of having a quote defective speedometer was only $30. All the rest of it is fines and fees and BS. So that was how I started my morning. That was at like 7, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning on my way up to the doctor. So that wasn't too exciting. And then when I came home, I had a note on my door that the same crappy ass neighbor that bitches about me all the time had filed another noise complaint. Now, he filed the noise complaint apparently based on something that occurred on Sunday. Now, Sunday, I went metal detecting almost all day. And then from 8 until 10 p.m., we did a live stream. Now, my computer is nowhere near the adjoining wall to his apartment. And our noise thing says noise after 10:30 should be to a minimum. Well, I went back and looked at the show and we were done before 10:30. So I don't know what he's bitching about, but he's trying to get me evicted. Now, I'm not even here most of the time, but I don't know what his deal is. I wasn't even here most of the day. Y'all know I went metal detecting, came home, took a nap, and then did a show from 8 to 10. So today, after I get done with this show, I will be contacting the Virginia senior legal aid people because basically the guy's harassing the crap out of me and the management has been harassing me. I don't know why, but they have. So it goes back to the Christmas party with the COVID lady. I know why they're doing it, but I'm going to have to get a lawyer and go after them because the primary reason they're harassing me is that someone, and I don't know who, told them that I suffer from bipolar disorder and post-traumatic stress, and that makes the manager nervous, so she wants to get rid of me. The problem is those diseases are covered by the Americans with Disability Act, and so she's going to have a little problem forcing me out based on that. And also she said I am loud when I speak to her. Well, gee, guys, you know, I have a hearing problem. I can't always hear how loud I am. And sometimes you guys complain that I'm not loud enough. So I don't know, but I got a pile of problems on my plate this week that I got to take care of. Um, I was supposed to go look at that motorhome, and that guy did a dirty deal on me. He told me that it would be ready to view on Wednesday, which is today. But then Monday night sent me a message that said sold. So I thought that kind of, you know, kind of was a stinker. I have found another one uh, about an hour south of me. I've been talking to this lady, and I'm going to go down first of the week and look at hers. She wants to clean it out first. She and I have the common denominator of both of us are going through divorce issues, so that's why she needs to sell hers, and that's why I need to buy mine. So I'm hopefully that Bree and I will be able to work something out. Now, on a brighter note, I'm going to show you something real cool that I didn't even remember was coming my way. I usually let my stuff sit over at Ravenhawk Coins for 4 or 5 months and then just let him mail me one of those $7 packages instead of having him mail every little thing. And apparently back in March, maybe around my birthday, somebody won something and donated it to me. I had bid on it in an auction, but I was outbid. And anyway, so in my package that came from Ravenhawk was this gift that I received from Larry Powell II. I just love Larry. Larry has just the most joyful personality. He makes me laugh. And anyway, he had put in my package. Let's see if I can get my camera up here. I always have a problem with this when I'm doing this particular show of getting my toys lined up where I need them. The microscope doesn't want to come on this morning. I don't know why. I don't want audio. I want camera. I want USB microscope. And it does not want to. And I wanted to show you my new toy. Well, it's okay because we're not dogging and catting right now, so it's okay if they want to just sit here and lurk. But let's see if I can get this up here on the screen somehow. Not having any luck. But anyway, Larry sent me. I'm going to do something icky here. I really don't want to put myself on camera because I'm in my jammies, but I'm going to try to just hold this up and use this camera. See if I can show it without showing me. Well, I'm getting everything in the world on this screen this morning. Well, I may have to show it later. I'm having camera problem. Check. No, I don't even, yeah, I'm not even sure I have sound now. Well, I can't get it to come up. It's just going to be one of those mornings. Oh, maybe that's why. Oh, there I am in my ugly jammies. I'm going to cover my face so you can't see. But Larry sent me this Colombian Expedition $50. He had Ravenhawk put it in my package, and it's really cool. And see if I can get the back side upside down. Yeah, I'm hiding. I have not combed my hair. I haven't done anything. But anyway, this was a gift to me from Larry Powell II, and thank you so much, Larry. That's really cool. I really appreciate having that. Yep. Y'all can tell it'll feel good. I just don't. Oh my goodness, everything's gone crazy here. This big pile of stuff back here, that's all divorce papers. Oh my gosh. When she rain, she pour. That's all right. I'm going to open up the Nightbot just for a minute. It won't necessarily tell me who's in here because I haven't posted, but if I open the Nightbot, it means I might give something away, and that usually brings them out of the woodwork. Okay. So we got that done. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people. This show is pretty early in the morning for some folks. And also there are a lot of people that they hang out over at Ida's, and I have no problem with that. This just happens to be a time period that I have, and I don't, well, I love Ida. She says that I should be tolerant of the politics over there, but I have a different attitude about it, and mine is I should not have to tolerate being called names and having people of mixed race being referred to as porch bunnies and that sort of thing. And I have had those kind of things come in my email. So I just don't. I usually go over, say hi to Ida, say hi to the people, and then I leave. But it's one of those things I cannot in good conscience be a part of. I don't want my name on there because it looks like that I tolerate that, and I certainly don't. And I got to tell you guys, this is, I don't talk about politics a lot because my politics is different than a lot of the people in the coin community. But by most people's standards, I would be considered a bleeding heart liberal. I've been called a snowflake. I've been called, all kinds of. I had somebody call me a commie pinko. I thought that was a good one. But yesterday I was in the craft store. I had to stop and get some paint while I was up in the other town because we don't have a whole lot of stores here. And I bumped into this gentleman in the aisle who was a Marine, and by the hat he was wearing, I knew where he had served. And we started talking, and we ended up running into each other in 3 different stores in the same town. And I mean, there couldn't have been 2 people that were any more opposite politically. He was a Trump supporter, and I've got a Biden sticker on my car. But we had some wonderful conversations about the U.S. military, about and even though he was a Trump Republican, we had very similar ideals on education and how military operations should work, and we just absolutely got along just great. And I met his wife in the Dollar Tree, and you can, and the point of this story is you can have 2 people with very, very opposite views that can carry on intelligent conversations without calling each other nasty names. And he was very familiar with where my dad had been stationed, and he was like, when I told him where my dad had been stationed in the military, his eyes rolled back in his head, and he said, "Oh my God," he said, "your dad really went through the hell of it, didn't he?" And I said, "Yeah, he sure did." And then I told him where my brother had been stationed, and he was like, one of the things that he did that I thought was really cool is you always see people when they see somebody was in the military, and they will always thank that person for their service. This gentleman looked at me and said, "Thank you for your service." He said, people always forget that when someone goes off into the military, they leave a family behind who are also going through the same military traumas and adventures as the person who went to the front line. That was the first time I had ever had a military person thank me for being part of a military family. And I thought it was pretty cool. And I think there needs to be more of that. Right now, I have several family members who are serving. I have an 18-year-old nephew who he's going through his preliminary things right now. He will be going in June. I have a niece who is married to an Army sergeant. They have 4 kids. Those kids are going through it too. But anyway, I don't know who those 3-4 lazy people are that don't want to show up on the Nightbot, because I guess they just don't want any prizes this morning. I got one. I was going to give something away, but maybe not. Although it would kind of stack the deck towards James Eller. So the other 3 lurkers, you're going to snooze and you're going to lose. So anyway, this morning, since Wednesday is usually my metal detecting day, and we will be doing a show tonight, whether my obnoxious neighbor likes it or not, I'm going to do some buried treasure shows. I mean, some articles this morning that little Suzy Smart dug up. This one is pretty interesting. See if I can find it again. It's pretty short. The other one's longer. But I'm looking for the short one first. Because if I was a kid and this happened to me, I don't know what I'd do. I would really have to kind of study my ethics and morals even back in the 1890s if this happened to me. So let me see if I can find it. I just clipped it this morning. I know it's in here. Oh, and then I got called out by another channel because I talk about real life things, and some of them are a bit depressing. And the channel in question said, just once I would like you to come in here and just tell a story that's happy. Well, I did that particular day, but I guess that person has forgotten that the purpose I started my channel with was to try to help people who deal with assorted illnesses and try to keep them involved and active. And it is very difficult for a person who suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and depression and all of these disorders to come in every morning and be, hi everybody, how you doing? And I'm going to give you a real good example of a guy that couldn't do it. And that was Robin Williams. Robin Williams would come in and he would make all the jokes and but eventually over time, if you try to just carry that stuff, it'll get you. So to the person who says my show is depressing, gee, I'm terribly sorry that your life is so perfect. It almost makes me not want to go to his show, you know, and I like the guy. I can't find the article, and it was so cute. Oh my goodness, where did I put it? I wonder if you can sort these things by the date clipped, newest. Okay. Let's try that. Because it's funny. It's about an old priest who, here we go, priest buried gold in the Panic of 1873. Now, I'm going to have to look up what the Panic of 1873 was. But anyway, this priest kind of lost track of his money. And it makes for kind of an interesting tale when the money finally turns up. So let me get the priest up here on the thing here, and we'll see what happened back in 1899. This story came from the Atchison Daily Champion in Atchison, Kansas, in November of 1899. And it's called Forgot Buried Gold. When children found it, the old priest remembered. Now, even though it was in the Atchison newspaper, it came from Chicago. And it says, school children playing in the grounds connected with the Church of the Immaculate Conception at North Pork Avenue and Schiller Street on Tuesday discovered in an excavation beneath the church $7,000 in gold coins. That's a lot of money in 1899. $7,000 in gold coins. They carried it in handfuls to the nuns who have charge of the parish school. Father Patrick T. Butler, when told of it, remembered that years ago he buried the money under the sanctuary and had forgotten about it. Father Butler is the oldest priest in the city, being nearly 70 years of age. His memory has become impaired. The story in connection with the discovery of the money, as told by friends, is that some years ago, his brother, Dr. Butler, who was prominent in Catholic circles in Chicago, had died. By his will, his property and money went to Father Pat. Father Pat buried the coins there in the panic of 1873. The police agree that it is his money. So I'm going to have to follow up on that, find out, first of all, what was the panic of 1873 that would cause Father Patrick Butler to go bury $7,000 in gold under the church. The second thing I would be curious about is, after the money was found, did they consider it Father Pat's personal money, which is what it sounds like, or did that become church money? And did they let any of the kids have any of the coins for finding it? I think I would be inclined, if I had some young men who were honest enough to carry that $7,000 in gold and give it back to the nuns, I think I'd have given them a little bit of a reward. So, but I thought that was a pretty cool story. How do you forget $7,000 in gold for over 20 years? I couldn't forget $7,000 worth of gold for over 20 minutes. But these young boys, they were honest. They took the money right back to the nuns. And I just thought that's a pretty cool story. Well, yeah, I'm not even sure why I'm doing a show this morning. Apparently, I am on the boycott list again. Got my mod James, and that's it. So I don't know. I just don't know why I'm here. I got a list 10 miles long of things to do. But I do have one other story I want to do, and it's kind of a long one. So I'm going to go ahead and do it, and people can come and read it later if they want, or listen to me read it later. And then I got so much stuff to do. I got to go to the farm. I've got just all kinds of stuff. I'm going to have to start selling pretty much everything I own to try and buy this motorhome, since my neighbor seems hell-bent and determined to get me thrown out of here. And the thing is, I went across the hall and I asked the lady across the hall, I said, did you hear any noise coming from my apartment Sunday night? And she said, no. She said, I never hear any noise coming from your apartment. She said, the only time I hear any noise coming from your apartment is if you're trying to get the grocery cart. We have I have a rolling cart that I bring my groceries in. She said, once in a while I'll hear that bang into the door, but I do that too. So then she informed me that the landlady had come and asked her questions about me, and that's invasive. I'm not pleased. So I'm gonna be trying to sell off a lot of things, and we're going to start with Sunday. I think it's this Sunday. Let me double check. I don't want to tell a lie. I don't want to tell a lie. Yeah, see, as soon as I go on, then 10 minutes later, Ida goes on. So everybody's over at Ida's. And that's okay. They can hate me if they want. Sunday. Yeah, I got to look at Sunday for a minute. Make sure I have the right date. I'm making a mess here. No, I am not there. Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. From 11 till about 2 Eastern Daylight. I got to get my other channel. I never have my links. I need to have my links where I can get to them. I don't know why I'm never prepared, mostly because I'm exhausted all the time. Oh, have mercy. Anyway, over on my jewelry channel, I'm going to be doing a well, not just jewelry, but primarily jewelry auction. So just let me get the link. I will be making an announcement video. I know I'm just babbling this morning. I'm so exhausted from yesterday. It was massively tiring. And the fact that I was in the hospital 3 times last week, that didn't help. So, I just kind of... Anyway, I'm going to do a jewelry sale on my other channel. I'm trying to get the link here. I'm just dragging. I am so sorry. I'm probably just going to log off here in a couple of minutes because it's pointless. Alrighty, I think I got it now. I think I found it. There's Miss Southern Belle. Somebody else that doesn't hate me this morning. Okay. Finally found the link. I haven't had enough coffee to get my eyes open fully yet. And then I've got a big yard sale coming up with 3 other families that's happening the first part of May. Somehow in the next 2 weeks, I've got to figure out how to pull $5,500 out of my derriere to get this other motorhome before I lose it. It's a pretty nice looking one. So see if that got me to the right channel. Then I'm going to read this long story. It's really interesting. It's about treasure hunting because it's Wednesday. You can see my sign was sold there. It says Quitman, Georgia on it. That sign has since been adjusted and now says Galax, Virginia. But this is just a video that shows some of my creations. I'm working on some completely new stuff. But anyway, you can go over there and Sunday from 11 to 2, I'm going to auction off some items that try to help me get this motorhome thing. The one that I'm looking at, I tend to look at ones that people have started remodeling the insides. There's nothing wrong with the mechanical parts of them, but they decide they don't want the table, or they tear this out or tear that out, and then they run out of go and they don't want to put it back together. Well, I'm good at that part. I can fabricate with metal and wood to a pretty good extreme. In fact, if I can find this picture, I will show you something that it was actually the last project that my friend Tommy and I did together before he passed away. And I was so tickled that I got to work with him again. I thought we did a pretty incredible job on this project. This is actually a race car hauler for a sprint car driver out of the Tampa, Florida area. And we did the cabinets and different things in there, you know, all customized for this gentleman's personal needs. I don't know if I can put my hands on it right now, but other cars and projects might be in there. A lot of race cars that I helped him build, cars that he built on his own. But right now I'm not seeing it. But anyway, I will show you guys some of the stuff that we fabricated, and so you'll understand that I can fix anything they mess up on the inside of a motorhome, as long as it's not too much of the mechanical part. And I try to stick to ones that are brands that I know how to work on. I try not to, like, I don't do diesel. I don't, you know, any of that stuff. But I don't mind that this one, it's a nice looking motorhome. She took out a couple of tables and different bench seats and stuff, and that's fine with me because more room. So anyway, from 11 to 2, Sunday, I guess I should have put Sunday on there. And I kind of dummied that one up, didn't I? So let me see if they'll let me copy that. Oh, come on. I hate it when this thing won't cooperate. I just want to copy what I posted there. And anyway, that is going to be on Sunday. And I will make a video announcement. Because I only have like 70 subscribers on that channel. But then I'm going to go through and I may just have a general auction of decor items and that kind of stuff. They'll also be mixed in with the jewelry. Because, like I said, somehow I got to figure out a way to pull $5,500 out of my thin air. I kind of wish I had not used so much of my stimulus check, but when I got my stimulus check, I paid off I think it was 4 credit cards. I mean, I can still use them. I didn't close the accounts, but I paid 4 of them off so that I would not be stuck at the beginning of next month with more bills than I could pay. Yeah. Alrighty, let me go over here and find this other crazy article. It's a 2-parter, and I don't know why it keeps giving me this other stuff. I was researching a band for somebody. You can kind of, if you can see it on the thing, you can tell. But anyway, those articles keep coming up, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the treasure hunting article about the gold dust, because it's pretty funny. I don't know how people could lose track of money the way some of these things are coming out. Let me see. Yeah, part 1. Here we go. This one is from the Kansas City Star from March 31, 1929. Now, just a few months after this was when the stock market crashed and the beginning of the Great Depression. So that's one of the things that makes this interesting, is that these people were seeking billions in an old gold mine just months before the Great Depression struck. So this came from the Kansas City Star, and I would love to go back and see if these places could be found. That's one of the reasons that I do these articles, is I know that there's some treasure hunter out there that's going to go looking for this. Omaha, Nebraska, March 30th. An old Aztec gold mine in Arizona, worked for 100 years by the Indians and taken from them by the Spaniards in 1529, worked by these Spanish adventurers for 2 centuries, lost for more than 150 years. Oops, I got to get this back up on the screen. This is supposed to be on the screen so y'all can see what I'm reading to you. Kind of dummied up here. Like I said, I'm not with the program today at all. I don't know why. I just haven't. I'm exhausted and stressed and due to a curse. And I've got to get the packages out. I've just got a lot on my plate, but I still got to get up in the morning and drink my coffee. So as long as I got to get up and drink coffee, Suzy Smart's going to be up here reading the news. I didn't want to edit that. I want to add that. There's my article. Alrighty, let's try this again. So, anyway, it says the Spaniards took the mine away from the Indians in 1529, worked by the Spanish adventurers for 2 centuries, and then lost this mine somehow for 150 years. Then it was rediscovered and again lost. Of course, I guess, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you might lose your directions. Somebody tell you to turn left at the wrong tree. And anyway, it says the mine is arousing considerable interest in Omaha just now, where the owner of the mine is ill in the county hospital. A map of the old mine, together with about $5,000 in gold dust, knocked around the country for a number of years in a battered old trunk, until the trunk was purchased at an auction sale of unclaimed baggage here some years ago. And since then, the old map has been used to relocate the lost mine. And while the mine has been found, $5 million in gold dust buried in one of the corridors of the mine, as related on the old map, has not yet been located. Omaha knows the map of the old mine to be authentic. That $5,000 in gold dust was in the old trunk, Omaha also knows. The sale of unclaimed baggage took place in Omaha. The trunk was opened here, and the dust was refined at the Omaha plant of the American Smelting and Refining Company, and there, following in the Omaha courts, a long fight for the gold and the map. Joseph Kelly, present owner of the map and of the mine, came to Omaha some weeks ago and entered the hospital. He has located the mine and has panned gold from the gravel and sand, he declares, but hasn't located the cache of $5 million in gold dust, which he believes is buried in the mine. Since he has been in the hospital, Kelly has received letters from E.J. Freelinger of Tucson, Arizona, saying he too has located the old mine and asking Kelly about the buried treasure. The start of the treasure hunt. 25 years ago, DeEstring Shepard, an old miner, lived for a time at the boarding home in Quincy, Illinois, kept by Mrs. Medora Chamberlain. He was dangerously ill. At midnight one night, feeling death near, he begged his landlady to marry him in order that she might inherit his mine, of which he had told her. They were married at 2 o'clock that morning, and before 6, Shepard was dead. Before dying, he told Mrs. Chamberlain Shepard that the map to the mine, as well as $5,000 in gold dust, was in his trunk in Tucson, and that $5 million in gold dust, which he had worked out in the mine in the last 30 years, was buried in the mine. He left $1,800 in cash in his pockets. The marriage, the death of the old miner, and the will are all court records in Quincy. Mrs. Shepard went to Tucson, but could not find the trunk which Shepard had left in a boarding house and which had been forwarded to him somewhere. She remained in Tucson 12 years searching for the mine. In that time, she married Joseph Kelly, formerly of Omaha. Several years ago, M.R. Brubaker attended a sale of unclaimed baggage at the Burlington Depot in Omaha, purchased for $3.50 a battered old trunk. In the trunk were some old clothes, a sack of mud, and an old map. Someone suggested the mud might be gold dust. He took it to the smelter, where it was found to be almost pure gold dust and was valued at about $5,000. But the smelter refused to turn over the cash or return the mud to Brubaker until the latter could prove ownership. Instead, the smelter notified the court and asked for instructions. Established her right to trunk. Brubaker brought suit, but before the suit was tried, Mr. and Mrs. Kelly came from Tucson to Omaha to visit relatives. They heard of the old trunk with its map and mud and started an investigation. They decided that the trunk was the one lost 20 years ago by the old miner in Quincy. Mrs. Kelly also brought suit for the trunk and the gold and eventually won it. Armed with this map, she and Kelly went back to, I got to get the rest of the article here. Bear with me, because it was a two-parter. Da, 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 da. So here we go. Let me get me up here. Anyway, so they went from Omaha back to Tucson and again took up the search for the old mine, which they finally found in the mountains 55 miles northwest of Tucson. But Mrs. Kelly died soon afterward, leaving the property to her husband, Joseph Kelly. Kelly spent most of his time searching for the $5 million which the old miner said he had buried in the mine and which showed on the map, but he could not locate the cash. Whenever he needed ready cash, Kelly ceased searching for the buried treasure and went to work getting out new gold. A few weeks' work of this kind would give him enough money to live on for months, and again he would turn his attention to the search for the big cash. Then, about Christmas time, Kelly was taken ill and came to Omaha to relatives for treatment. He has shown his old map to a number of friends in this city, and an effort is underway among them to finance his further search for the hidden gold. Kelly expects to return to Tucson this spring. So I'm going to have to follow up on this one, find out what happened to Mr. Joseph Kelly. Did he ever find the $5 million in his mine? Did he ever get to go back to work in his mine? Does anybody know where his mine is? So I thought that was a pretty cool story there. Let me see who came in while I was gone. Hi, Charles. Good morning. So anyway, that was kind of the big story of the day, since Wednesday is my metal detecting story. I would love to know where that mine was and get somebody down in there with a present day metal detector that is made specifically for finding gold, and see if anybody ever found that $5 million. So that's another story we'll come back to. So anyway, because I have another show today at 6 o'clock Eastern, and because it is abundantly clear that nobody is ever going to give up the Ida Herring show, and I don't expect them to, but it would be nice if they would at least pop in and say hi. Anyway, I have mass quantities of nickels I have to roll. I have some eBay things to ship. I have some prizes from the other night to ship. Oh, and I have something new. Some of you might have seen it the other night. This is just a prototype. This is not the actual thing. My sister will be bringing me one of the actual items later. This one's actually kind of dirty. But my sister was doing some work for somebody, cleaning up a house and stuff. And I don't know if I can get the camera to work. I've been having camera issues all morning. Oh, there I am. I look really bad, folks, and I apologize. Now I know why the ladies over on the other side of the world cover their faces. But I want to show you this if you didn't see it the other night. My sister came upon a whole little cache of U.S. mint bags. Now this one is dirty. I have to clean it up. But we are going to be offering some of these for sale. I know there are penny bags and nickel bags. I don't think she found any quarter ones. She said there was at least one silver dollar one. And my sister knows nothing about coins. She had no idea what a cool thing this was to find. But we have some projects we're going to be doing with them. One lady who saw this already wanted to know if I could put a drawstring in, so that she can use that to take to her coin shows to hand out all of her little things, and also to put the things in that she purchases. We are also going to be having some pillows. We're going to stuff some of them. Now, some of them they're not all going to be perfect. We're going to try to get the stains and the spots out as much as we can. But how cool is this to have in your coin room as a pillow in the background, or to use for right now? I am using mine because this one's kind of grubby. I've been using mine. I put my cats and dogs in there for right now. But we are going to have some craft items that are actually made from real U.S. Mint bags. So hopefully I will be able to come up with something really cool for those that will help pay for the motorhome. And once again, I apologize. I look terrible, I know, but I've been in the hospital 3-4 days. So I was in like Monday night, Tuesday night, all day Thursday, part of Friday. Yesterday I was being prodded and poked up at the other doctor all day. So yeah, I just don't look good, and I hate to go on camera that way because I don't want you guys to think that I'm dying or something, because I'm not. I just got a lot of weird stuff going on. And I figured one more thing we'll do while we're here is I still got to finish these crazy, oh my goodness. I just picked up one of those little Chinese food box things that I used at Christmas. I had it full of nickels. The bottom just fell out of it, so now I have a lap full of nickels. Let me get down here and get a box. It's already full of nickels, so it won't hurt if I got some of them. But yeah, I've still got about 5 more of these rolls of nickels here that were supposed to be circulated, but like I said, I think the only place they circulated was in 2020 around the greater Philadelphia area. Out of each roll, I have found maybe 4 or 5 nickels that were not a 2020p. So I really didn't do well with those, and they need to go to the bank. So I'm going to sit here and do these last rolls real quick, and I'm going to give away whatever the oldest nickel in the roll is, and if it's a 2020, then that's what you're getting. But yeah, I need to get them done and rolled. And I went 3 places yesterday looking for coin rollers, and I was not having a darn bit of luck finding any coin rollers. I mean, usually I can at least find them at the Dollar Tree, but nope, I had no luck at all. So I'll just roll up what I can. I mean, they didn't even have very many at the bank. I guess that's the new thing now is we initially had the shortage of coins. Well, apparently now everybody's turning their coins in, so what we have is a shortage of coin rolls. So anyway, let's see what's in this roll of nickels here. Somebody referred to these as the poison nickels, and I'm about inclined to agree with them. They were not, this was not the best thing. I think next time I'm just going to get more pennies. I did better with the pennies too. And I'm going to go run by the coin shop. I didn't want to finish this book this way, but I have a penny book that I just can't find the last 2 pennies. And I want to give the book away. So in order to do that, I got to find the last 2 pennies. Plus, I want to go by there and see if I can sell some coins. I may include coins in another auction next week. I hate getting into my collection, but with all of this craziness going on, the need for that motorhome is becoming more and more important, and I can take it out to my sisters and park it out there and pay them for electric while I am fixing it up, and get me out from under some more bills. And then I do in September really I need to go back to Michigan for a little bit, and then I will probably go down to Florida for the winter, and then back to Michigan. But any motorhome that I buy is going to have to require some work, because I don't have like 20, 30, 40, 50 grand to drop. But the last one that I had, I actually paid $900 for. It was a 1976 Ford Class C, and I lived in it for 2 years. I drove it to Michigan and back from Florida twice, and many other places. And the only reason I got rid of it was because the water tanks, I was ill prepared and they got frozen and my water tanks cracked, and it was going to cost so much to fix the water. I didn't have running water anymore. And so I sold it to a friend who was supposed to be making a food truck out of it. I don't know if that ever happened or not, but I had a total of maybe $5,000 in the whole thing. I had gutted it and put things in there the way I wanted. Instead of the little bunk table, I had a mid-century modern dresser that went all the way across one side that held my jewelry business, my clothes, was a place to put my TV. I still had the small eating table. I had the, refrigerator. I had everything except that then the water went out on it. But the one I'm looking at now, it's mechanically sound. It's just that they gutted part of it to start making it more kid friendly. And then now the lady and her husband are getting a divorce, and so she needs to sell. and I need to buy. So hopefully we will be able to work something out. But because of that and my impending divorce, I gotta start selling stuff. I'm gonna even have to sell my guitars, which that's gonna hurt me. I'll keep one. Actually, I'll probably keep two. I'll keep an acoustic and an electric, and everything else is gonna have to go. And I'm not happy about it, but you know, gotta survive. And our farmer's market is starting back soon. My sister, ooh, looky there, there's a 69S. That so far is the oldest one in the roll, so that's going to be the one given away to somebody. That's not a bad little find there. And another 20p. So, let's find a flippy dippy do. Wish I knew where my stapler was. This place is so bad. Oh my goodness. So somebody is going to get that 69S nickel. And I got to turn the Nightbot back on. I turned him off because there wasn't anybody playing anyway. I don't have the... I just did a great big giveaway. I can't do that everyday stuff like they do on the other channels. It just isn't in my financial stream right now. But you know, I don't know. I guess I sound like I'm ungrateful, and I don't mean to sound that way at all. I am very grateful for everything that I have, especially because I grew up with nothing. You know, when you grow up with nothing and then you get something, you're usually pretty grateful for it. I just can't always... I can't compete with some of these channels, and truthfully, if people don't want to watch my channel, it's okay. I do it because I find it interesting. And all right, so let me see here. Let's go down here to the giveaways. Let's turn the Mr. Bot on, see who has been here in the last 15 minutes. Ah, good morning, Les Likes Coins. I don't think it's morning where you are, however. For those who don't know, Les is another one of my internationals. Les is from England, and I'm going to have to talk to him some more about... I have a package to send him, but I'm going to ask him a favor too. So it shouldn't be a hard one. Judging by where he lives, he should be able to... Oh, now, where are you moving to, Charles? I know you're moving. I just don't know. I have lost that little piece of info in my head as to where you are moving to. I need everybody who is interested in winning this lovely coin that I just pulled out of the 2020s. We got us a 69S nickel. Oklahoma City. Okay. Oh, you're going to go out there by Ravenhawk. Yeah, Raven lives in Norman, Oklahoma. And there's some pretty good... Anybody else that's going to get in on this drawing, or do I just get to give it to Charles? It says there are 4 people in the stream, but I'm not seeing any postables. So I guess nobody wants that. So, oh well. Let me get the rest of these nickels off here. I'll check back in a minute and see if anybody's interested in that coin. I don't find that many S nickels floating around. How many more of these gosh awful things do I have? Oh my gosh, I still got about 10 of them. Oh my goodness. Now we're up to 5 people, but only 2 have posted, so they're still not being picked up by the bot. So I'll give it a few more minutes. I'll open another roll, see if I find anything else that's dandy like candy, because I do got to get these to the bank. Oh, well, yeah, when I will definitely have internet in the motorhome. When I had my other motorhome, I had internet. I had, I had everything. I was rocking and rolling. I was doing shows from there. I had what it was called a mobile hotspot. And a lot of times I would just go and park. I lived on a friend of mine's property for a while, and I was able to use their internet. And then I lived on what I call Mysterian Manor, which is the farm that my friend Question Mark from Question Mark and Mysterian Zone, and I had internet and Wi-Fi there as well. So, oh yeah, I will definitely still be broadcasting. That will have no effect whatsoever on me doing shows, as long as I am in an area where I can get reception, which really wasn't that big of a problem. So yeah, the living in the motorhome will not at all deprive me of having internet. What it will do, though, is get rid of some of the extra bills that I have to pay, like these ginormous electric bills. Appalachian Power is really, they're the only game in town, so they really gouge these poor mountain people. It's terrible. But yeah, when I lived in it before, when I lived in one before, I had my entire jewelry business in there. Class C's have that like overhead sleeper compartment. Well, I had no need to be sleeping up there, so that was where all of my jewelry stock and my tents and my tables and everything were up there out of the way. If I was running low on money, I would find some little town that had a farmer's market and go pay 10, 15 bucks and set up at the farmer's market and sell some stuff. And I always made sure I had business cards, so if anybody was unhappy, they could reach me and I could replace their item. So I never had people be afraid to purchase from me, because I did have, permanent address. And yeah, well, that's the whole thing. These were supposed to be circulated coins, and they really turned out not to be circulated anywhere except in 1920 down there floating around Philly. But I still have to go through them, because every once in a while, like that 1969 S just turned up right in the middle of a roll of 2020Ps. If anybody needs a 2020P, let me know. I'll stick one in an envelope to you. Some of them look pretty good. I'm going to pick out a nicer one to put in my book. Some of them they're a little bit scratched. They've been in circulation just enough to get some little niches and such on them. But yeah, I have to go through them because, like I said, right in the middle of that one roll, there was that 69S. So very, yeah, I was very disappointed in this box. I just was. And I'm also, alrighty, Miss Southern Belle, well, thank you for stopping by. I always appreciate seeing you. I'm making you something, by the way. I'm just not done with it yet. Had to kind of set it aside and work on some other stuff. But yeah, I'm working on a little thing for Miss Southern Belle. Just probably get it finished up this week. It's on my workbench, and anything that's on my workbench, I'm going to try to finish this weekend because I need to clear that workbench off. Well, let me do my drawing real quick before you leave because I do have 5 people on here. So Lucky James Eller, who complained he didn't win anything the other night. You won the 1969 S nickel. So there, you got something now. you win. You win something. So there you go. That was the oldest coin out of that roll. In fact, it was the only decent coin out of that roll. Oh, gotta go to the foot doctor Thursday. I gotta go to the gastro doctor Thursday to see what they found out in my biopsy from when I was in the hospital getting all those tests run the other day. Yesterday I was at ear, nose, and throat. Today they're supposed to be calling me and telling me when I get to go to the neurologist because this terrible pain that they thought was related to my ear is not related to my ear at all. It is related to nerve damage that I got about 5 years ago from a very bad oral surgeon up in Detroit, Michigan. So we're going to have the neurologist go in there and see if they can fix that because they can't leave me on these long-term, steroids and stuff are not something you can stay on long-term. They're just using that right now to control the pain so that I can function until they can get me in. So yeah, I have foot problems too, so I get having to go to the foot doctor. Prescription sunglasses. I got these glasses that are the ones that change and get darker, but I don't like them because then when I come into the building, they're really dark and I bounce off of stuff. Yeah, I'm tired of that 2 pairs of glasses thing too. And I have like these really cool sunglasses. They're very retro, and I took them. The frames are in immaculate condition, so I took them over. They're just regular sunglasses, so I took them over to the eye doctor and asked them if they could put prescription lenses in them. And because of the way they're so well made. Because of the way they're made, they said they could do that. So I'm gonna try and get that done. I gotta see if I can get my insurance to pay for it. Because yeah, I have been known to be in my car with my regular glasses on and my sunglasses over my regular glasses. It's, yeah. And especially if you live in the South, you really got to have sunglasses protection for your eyes. Oh, I know. I don't need any help with that either, Miss Southern Belle. I can go pretty crazy without any help at all from the fine folks down at the glasses place. But yesterday I needed sunglasses badly. Oh, my eyes were really getting black. I could hardly see a couple of times. And that's not good when you're driving through the mountains and you can't see. It's like, oh, I don't really want to go off the edge here. All right, got another roll opened up out here. Let's see if there's anything funny in it. I just want to try and get these done so I can at least roll up what I have rolls for. And then I found a box last night that had some quarters rolled up in it and some pennies, so I can take some of this back. There's one of the newer buffaloes. E pluribus yum yum, that's what I call them, 2005. I'm going to put him off to the side. I have a whole jar of those I don't know what to do with. I haven't really decided yet. I obviously do not need to keep them all. I will probably go through and put the best of the best in flips, and then I don't know what I'll do with the rest of them. That one's got a scratch. I keep trying to find a 2020 that's not all goobered up, just to so I can have a couple of nice ones to put away. People might need them for their book. But yeah, I still got about 10 rolls of these left. Oh, I finished my turkey that I was making the other night while we had the big show going on. And yeah, I was thinking that, Miss Southern Belle, that I need to find one of those sunglass visors because it was brutal. I was heading straight into the sun in a construction zone on I-81, and I was having a hard time seeing where the cones were. And so I realized that this guy that was a couple of cars ahead of me had slowed way down. So I just started following him because I figured he was seeing better than I was. And sure enough, the car that was between him and me knocked over 3 or 4 of the orange cones. So I knew it wasn't just me that could not see. It was just really bad. And because you're up there in the mountains, you make a mistake, it can be deadly. So yeah, I'm gonna take my sunglasses over. Another thing I need to do today while I still have a little money is take Tommy's laptop to the computer place. Oh, West Virginia is worse than Virginia. That's the death trap right there. Oh my gosh. I have now devised a whole different way of traveling to Michigan than, there's a 64. I absolutely hate driving through the mountains in West Virginia. They're always under construction. A couple times I was almost run off the road. So now instead, I head west and go over through Bristol, Virginia and Bristol, Tennessee, and then cut back up where I don't have to. The Tennessee mountains are much safer. Their roads are a lot better. So I just try to avoid that stuff. Just cause. But yeah, that bright sun in your eyes, and you're trying to see, and some of these places don't have much for guardrails. So they are trying to improve it, and that's actually what the work zone was that they were out there trying to make that better, but you can't re-aim the sun. It just does not work. So I'm gonna finish this roll, I think, and then I'm gonna go try to fix my shower curtain. The other night, said grumpy neighbor would not relinquish any of the dryers in the laundry room. He actually put like 2 or 3 items in each dryer just so that I could not use one. So I had to bring my clothes home and put them on hangers. And when I did that, I put too many hangers on my shower curtain, on my shower curtain rod, and the rod fell down. So I got to go in there and fix that so I can have a shower and get the rest of my day rolling. Like I said, I have a show. My metal detecting show, Sweeping the Dirt, comes on at 6 this evening Eastern Time. I do have a couple of giveaways I will be doing on that are metal detecting related. So if you're not into detecting, I'm just going to ask you not to get your name on the thing, or just to tell me to take you off. But if you are a detectorist, or you want to win the prize and pass it on to a detectorist, that's fine and dandy. But I've been doing a lot of coin stuff, and it's time to share with my detecting family. So, and I did find a ring the other day when I went out. It's just a little bling bling ring, but it's cute. And I found an airplane. I dug up an airplane, guys. I dug up an airplane. It was like some kind of fighter plane or something. But anyway, I will be back later this evening with that show. So that's another reason I'm not going to stay on here too much longer. I just wanted to try to get these nickels. But I don't think I have enough rolls to roll them all up. So I'm going to have to go by the bank again, see if she got me any more rolls. And I have enough to do the pennies, though, so I'll try and get them back to the bank. And like I said, I found a couple rolls of quarters. I don't do dimes much. I kind of have a hard time reading them, and I don't ever seem to find much in the dime rolls. I don't see too many other people doing dimes either, so maybe it's just me. But I always thought that there would be more chance to find silver in the dime rolls, but so far that really hasn't happened. I have found dimes in my penny rolls. Good morning, modest moon gazer. We're just looking through the rest of these poison nickels from the other night. I already, Suzy Smart already read her news articles, and we're going to research and see if we can find out where this old mine that's supposed to have $5 million worth of gold buried in it is. I'm gonna try to. I gotta work on some money making things today. I have a couple of eBay orders I gotta get sent out. One of them's gonna be a pain because I always hate. I try not to sell glass because I'm always afraid when I sell glass that it's going to get broken. But I sold a 1937 Wesleyan College. I haven't even really looked at my dimes. I don't even know. I have not really messed with dimes much. Right now I'm trying to finish my penny books are almost done, but I'm starting new penny books because so many people like the Wheaties, and I don't really have any I don't have a lot of Indian heads, but I do like the pennies. So, and I started my nickel books, I don't know, probably about 6 months ago. See, I used to have all these books, and a friend of mine had a childhood friend who had a drug problem. And while I was off at college one day, that person helped themselves to my coin collection and sold it at face value so they could go get a fix. So when my friend Tommy passed away, I found he had, and I was packing up his stuff, and I knew he had it. He had a lock box that he didn't have any books or anything. He just had his coins in there. So I started working. He had mostly nickels, half dollars, and pennies. So I combined what was left of my meager little collection and have combined it with his, and that's my collection. So now I'm just trying to finish that off. It's kind of it's just a personal thing to me that I finish what he started. And but dimes I really have not done much. I have a book that has maybe 10 Mercs in it and a few Rosies, but I decided that I was going to work on the pennies and the nickels first, and my quarters, which I've done pretty good on my quarters. And then I will go back. I will backtrack and do like the Indian heads and my half dollars. I do have 4 NIFCs I need to put in my half dollar book that are sitting over here in a tray. But because I have such a hard time reading the dimes, I can probably do them now, because when I started trying to do them, I did not have this microscope, and I was using a jeweler's loop, which I just couldn't see. I wear bifocals, and the combination of the bifocals and the jeweler's loop for multiple coins wasn't working so well. I mean, it works fine out in the field when I'm detecting and I just want to look and see if a ring has a mark in it, but it's not the best for, going through 10 rolls of nickels or 10 rolls of dimes. So, but now that I have the scope, I probably will, after I finish up my nickels, start working the dimes. But truthfully, I've never had a lot of luck with dimes. But you never know. Like the other night, I certainly did not expect to find the Tuskegee Airmen quarters in the car wash, but I found two of them. So I just never know. It's a crapshoot when you're sorting coins as to whether or not you're going to go through a whole box like I have with this one and pull maybe 10 coins that you can actually use, or if you're going to get a box. Like my very first penny box, I had over 25 Wheaties and a couple of Canadians. I mean, it was a really good box. And it just, you just don't know. That's the joy of the hunt. I'm just gonna, oh my goodness, all these nickels I gotta roll. I need some kind of machine that just automatically roll them all up for me. I used to have one that did that. The motor in it burned out, where you would just throw the money in the hopper and it would count out. It would fill this tube with the appropriate number, and you just dropped the wrapper in there and it tidied it right up for you. But I used it so much that the motor burned out on it, and I've never been able to find another one. So now I'm back to old school. I'm back to Suzy Q, old school. And when I went to school, it was old school. And I laugh sometimes. People will be in here and they'll say, "Oh, I graduated in 1999," and I'm like, "I graduated in 1971." And it's so strange. The last time I went to Florida, I went by the school that I graduated from, and it used to be, there used to be an elementary school next to it. They tore that down and put the football stadium there. But we had built all these elaborate sidewalks that had, we paid money to buy a space on the sidewalk and had our squares on there with all of our stuff. And they dug all that up, and it was really sad when we went. Everything had the metal detecting gates around it where you can't go on or off the campus without being scanned. And I was like, wow, we thought things were bad when we were in school. At least the worst thing we had to put up with was the assistant principal with his tape measure measuring to see if our skirt was too short. And these poor kids, they're having to go through gun searches, and I'm like, wow, and this is the rich kids' school. I'd hate to see the ones in the lower economic area if this is what the rich kids are going to. Besides YouTube, what is another platform? Well, there's some of them that I don't much pay attention to, like TikTok. TikTok is really, really short videos. I think they're like a minute or less, most of them. They do now allow short videos on Instagram. Vimeo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but the record company that our band uses sometimes sends us stuff through Vimeo where we can watch it privately and decide whether or not we're on board with it. Of course, then you've got the ones that are more verbal in nature, like Discord and Twitter, Facebook Live you can do now. So those are pretty much the only ones I know. I mean, I'm sure there are many others, but heck, I'm still trying to learn how to use YouTube. Stick to one at a time till I figure out how they work so that I don't get myself in trouble. Like, I'm still trying to learn how to do the end cards on the end of the videos and how to put chapters in so that you can just jump to different parts of the video that are of your interest. So until I learn the parts of YouTube, I'm not even going to try to learn the other modes of video. I think I got enough to work with. But yeah, that's a few of them. Vimeo is Vimeo, and I assume it's pronounced Vimeo. They have a lot of videos over there. There used to be one called Vine, but Vine withered and died. I see a J-Dog woof woof in there. See who else came in while I was playing with my crummy 2020 pennies. Let me see here. Ooh, I see some fries and a steak. That looks good. Oh, yeah, that looks really good. I am hungry. Hey, Mike. See Mike? I see Stan. I feel like, I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember a show called Romper Room, but I feel like Miss Nancy on Romper Room. She had her little magnifying glass thing, and she would say, I see Nancy and Mikey and Sally. And of course, every kid whose name was Nancy, Mikey, Sally, or whatever name she used that morning thought for sure she was talking to them. And of course, we all know she wasn't. She was just picking the most common names and naming them all. And, I got how many more rolls in here? Oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to finish all these today. I will do one more though. And if I actually get 10 people in here, I might even give something away. We finally got James Eller to quit crying because he didn't win. Yeah, Barney the purple dinosaur. Oh yeah, my little niece loved Barney. Well, I just had a penny fall out of a nickel roll. I got cheated out of 4 cents on that one, unless it's a good penny. Let's see what it is. What the heck? It's just a 82. It's a dirty 82, not even a clean 82. So anyway, I am going to go back and follow up on that story that I did earlier about the $5 million in gold buried in the mine out near Tucson and see whatever happened to that man. It did not sound like he had children, at least not with the wife that he inherited the mine from. So I'm just curious, did anybody ever find that mine? Did they ever go back with modern equipment and see if they could locate this great cache of Well, I liked that they were referring to the pay dirt as mud. Bags of mud. And I thought it was interesting that the guy at the assayer's office, once he realized it was those big bags of gold, did not want to get off of those bags and tried to force the man to prove that he owned the bags, which fortunately his wife was able to do. So they at least got that part of their gold back. But yeah, there were some pretty unscrupulous people back in those days. Hey, Janelle, how you doing, hon? Glad to see you this morning. So yeah, probably next week. I wasn't counting on the crazy ticket that I got yesterday. I have never ever heard of getting a ticket for defective speedometer. Yeah. So I'm going to go to court and argue that one, because there was absolutely nothing wrong with my speedometer. There was absolutely nothing wrong with my cruise control. However, I am going to take my car down to my mechanic and have him inspect my cruise control and give me a piece of paper to take to court. First of all, I am not, usually if you're only a couple of miles over, they're not going to pull you. I had my cruise control set at 67 because I was in a 70-mile-an-hour zone, and this guy says I was doing 77. Well, even if I were doing 77, which I don't believe I was, because I don't believe the cruise control would have allowed that. But even if I were, that would have still only made me 7 miles over. And I think $106 is a little bit excessive. So I have talked to a couple people, and they said, yeah, I would fight that one. So I think I will. Like, I need something else on my plate, but $106. And the guy even admitted, when he wrote the ticket, I will say he was nice enough to write it for something that was a non-moving violation, so that it would not affect my driver's license points. Mike, normally I would, but I have like an entire box of them. I got this box that was supposed to be circulated, and it mostly was not. And I truthfully do not have the time right now to go back through each and every one of them. So normally I would be checking for that, but because I just have so many rolls of them and I am in a kind of a money crunch, I just don't have the time to do that. So I will put them back to the bank and let someone else have that privilege. I know there's another coin searcher around here, because he marks his rolls, and every roll of pennies that I got out of his, I knew had been sorted. So I'm guessing he probably also does his nickels that way. I'm going to have to find out who that guy is. His initials are TLC. So whoever TLC, somewhere in the general vicinity of Galax, Michigan, Galax, Michigan, Galax, Virginia, get a hold of me, buddy, because, yeah, we need to talk about you and your rolls of 80s pennies. You can save yourself the trouble of, I mark my rolls too. I mark them a little different than he does, but might as well save him some trouble. Let him know, hey, you're not going to find anything in mine either. So there you go. Okay, Mike, J-Dog needs educated. So he wants to know about the splitting letters. I should actually pull one up and show a picture of it, but I'm hurrying through today because I have so much stuff to do. I still have to go out to my sister's farm. I got to load a bunch of stuff in my car. We are getting ready for planting. My sister and I are, well, it's really her gig. I'm just the assistant. We have taken over running one of the local farmers markets, which will be starting in May. So I got to get my seedlings started so that we can't really plant yet because usually at the end of April there's always a big freeze. But we have the cabin that I was living in, and we're gonna get our seedlings going in there, and I got to get out there and get that done today. And some of my house plants that I have caged in behind me will be going so that I can get those prepped to sell, which will give me a little bit more living room also. I only had to bring them here for the winter because we use the cabin to store the hay for the horses for the winter. So the cabin is finally empty, and I have to transport plants today. And while I'm out there, I have a big sign that I got to paint, at least part of it. I'm just painting the sign, and then the center of it's going to be chalkboard paint so that we can use the sign for whatever particular sale we are having at that moment. So I got a lot on today's plate. Plus, I got to call the lawyer. Oops, 62. I got to call actually 2 lawyers. I got to call, well, actually 1 lawyer for 2 things. One about my neighbor harassing me, who does not, the neighbor and the management do not seem to understand that there are certain illnesses that are covered by the Americans with Disability Act. And just because you do not like that someone has one of those illnesses does not mean that you can evict them for having it. So, got a lot on my plate this week. I'm going to do this last roll, and then we will be out of here. And I got to find some coin rollers. My bank didn't have any nickel rollers. Spray can! Morning, Bubba! How you doing? I like spray can. I have so much fun on spray can's treasure hunts. If you have not been to spray can, and especially if you like the combination of auctions and games, he's got a great treasure hunt game that it's just so much fun. And I highly recommend that channel. So glad to see Spray Can pop in here this morning. And he's got the coolest stickers. I love his stickers. It's like a little graffiti thing. It's really cool. Got my little spray can. I'm going to go graffiti me some stuff here in a bit. I do not have Bradley's link. I'm sorry, I don't. Maybe somebody else does. I've lost my number one guy who, well, I've got two guys that used to be real good on my mornings for getting my links up, and I think my brother Handy Andy has fallen asleep at his keyboard face down, and I don't see him too much in the morning anymore because he's got his own channel now streaming at night. And my other guy is Archaeology Mikey, who is on vacation down in Florida right now. So those are my two guys that are usually jump right on looking up links for me. I just don't happen to have them available today. And because I'm trying to rush through getting these, and by the way, if I owe anybody money, tomorrow is when I'm sitting down to pay all my bills. So if I owe anybody for rolls or something, you will either get it tonight or tomorrow. I have just been, I was not anticipating the multiple hospital trips and that sort of stuff. It has put me way behind. Yeah, see, it's still 2 hours earlier where Andy is, so it's only like 7 a.m. So, and like I said, Mikey's down in Fort Myers. That's where his family is preparing to move to. And then he's got a college he's going to be going to down in Florida. So they're down there checking all that stuff out. So Mikey is not around quite as much as usual right now. And he is, Mikey is one of the most helpful people you can have in your stream. He knows his coins, and he knows how to find information, and I'll miss it when he's not here because he's got my back most of the time. Very rarely is there something that I know that Mikey doesn't. Once in a while, but not very often. All right, well, that's all I'm going to do at these for the day. Remind everybody that I have my regular Wednesday night show that comes on at 6. While it is technically my metal detecting show, we talk about everything on there. We talk about coins and music and detecting, and I will be revealing the result of the experiment that we did. Yeah, I know I look really bad. I've got moon face. Moon face is what you get when you have to take too much prednisone. But that's how they're having to control this thing with my jaw until they can get me into the neurologist. So anyway, I will be revealing what happened with the electrolysis experiment tonight and some other stuff, and probably finish up these nickels. Yeah, I am really tired. It's been a rough couple weeks, but we're making progress now. We have finally figured out what is causing the terrible pain in my face, and that's a biggie. Because before, all they could do was just keep giving me these drugs because they had to numb the pain just so I wasn't screaming. So now that we have a diagnosis and a treatment plan in the works, um, hopefully in the next week or so, a lot of this stuff will be cleared up and I will be back to my usual crazy self. Um, Sunday night was pretty crazy, but I don't think we were loud. Now, I'm going to ask a favor. Sunday night, I did a live stream, and it started at 8 and it ended shortly after 10. Well, according to the rules and bylines of my apartments, they request that after 10 you try to keep the noise down. So I truly don't believe we were that noisy. I don't have my computer close to the wall of my neighbor's apartment. My computer is actually in a completely different room with 2 walls separating it from his apartment. But what I'm going to ask you guys to do, I'm going to post the link to that, and I just want you to go and pick a random part of the video and listen to it and see if we seem to be overly loud, because I don't believe we were, and I'm going to use this video as part of the defense for how ridiculous his complaint is. So the video in question is uh, this video right here. Werner, first they thought it was because of my ears, and then a different doctor said it was TMJ from grinding my teeth. The problem is I do not have teeth to be grinding, so that was kind of off the wall. Well, when I was in the hospital getting my gastrointestinal testing done, I had the most amazing doctor there, and he actually saw me having one of these attacks. Now, most of the doctors, when they have seen me and been looking at it, have been looking at it while I was sedated. So they were not seeing some of the signs. And so what they have come up with, and it makes perfect sense if you know that I had some severe nerve damage done to my mouth about 5 years ago. They have come up with, and I do not know how to pronounce this, I think it's trigeminal neuralgia. It's an injury to a nerve that runs through your face, and they say that it is one of the most painful nerve afflictions that you can have, which would certainly explain why I've been rolling and writhing and screaming. So this is what they believe I have. Yeah, that's exactly it. The card shaking is the loudest thing in the video, and it's 2 rooms away from where that guy is. My desk is in my living room. Then there is a wall. Then there is a whole bunch of furniture, dressers, etc. Then there is a whole nother space of room. And then there's another wall. Now, the other part of that video started streaming at 8, I believe, and ran for 2 hours. 2 hours and 8 minutes. So it ran from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And that is well within our noise restraints. So I think the guy is full of horse hockey and just he has harassed me repeatedly ever since he moved in next door to me. I didn't have any problems until that guy moved in next door to me. He has just been a total butt. Like, I had 3 loads of wet clothes. I needed to use the dryers. Now, he had his clothes in the dryers. So I just put my things in the basket, and I was waiting because his dryers said 10 more minutes. So instead of taking his clothes that were still damp and putting them all into one dryer and allowing me to use the other 2, he puts like 2 shirts in this dryer and 2 shirts in this one and a towel and a pair of socks in this one, and hogged all 3 dryers intentionally so I could not dry my clothes. Janelle, there is not an noise ordinance as far as like our city. The apartments have sent out a letter in which it says, I happen to have it right here because it says noise complaints are getting out of hand at both properties. They have another apartment building next door. Quiet time is from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. This does not mean you cannot live in your home during these hours. Just be courteous to your neighbors during this time. I cannot stress enough, you will hear noise in an apartment complex. This happens in all complexes. If the noise is excessive, please do a formal complaint and place that in my Dropbox. Now, I was done by 10:05. So we're talking about maybe 5 minutes that I would have possibly been in violation, but none of the noise was so excessive that, first of all, I don't know how he could even hear it 2 rooms and 2 walls away. He must sit out in the hallway outside my door or something. But because I have the video and I have the times, and I can show, I'm going to actually take a tape measure, and I'm going to measure the distance from my chair to where it would have to be inside, the noise to be inside his apartment. He's just a nasty, mean old man. When I first moved in here, and I don't usually discuss politics, but in order to tell this story, I will have to expose that, yes, I'm a liberal in many things, but I am not a straight party voting ticket person. But when I moved in here, I had a Biden sticker on my car. Now, I had not been here 3 days, and this man walked up to me outside and said, "You need to get that sticker off your car before somebody hurts you." So this whole thing started because I had a Biden sticker on my car. So, yeah. and he has just been hateful and mean. He slammed the fire door in my face one day. Twice he has tampered with my laundry and been seen doing it. Yet they don't do anything to him because he's lived here for years and I'm the crazy liberal lady from Georgia. So, yeah, I had already told them that I have no plan on signing another lease. So to go through all of this, by the time they could evict me, my lease will be expired anyway. So, but I'm not going to let them violate the Americans with Disabilities Act just because some old man doesn't like me. You know, and you are right, Werner. It is very difficult to be a liberal up here in the mountains. My sister also has a Biden sticker on her vehicle, and we have both had people try to run us off the road. This is not the place for me to live, and that's why I am trying to get the motorhome so that I can just, you know, move on down the road. That's why I'm, for those who missed it, Sunday on my jewelry channel from 11 to 2, I'm going to be handing out, having an auction. See, that's the whole thing, J-Dog. You don't have to like Biden. I don't have to like Trump. I don't have to like Kamala Harris. But it is my right as an American citizen to express my opinion either way on, or any way on politics. It is not his right to come up and threaten me for exercising my right of freedom of speech. And that is the point. You know, you don't have to like the same music as your neighbor, but that does not give you the right to go over and break your neighbor's guitar because you don't like what they're playing. So this guy has just got a case of ugly and has decided to take it out on me, and also one other tenant that he also does these sorts of things to. If anyone should be being evicted, I would believe it would be him. But, you know, I don't want to be evicted. I just want to stay my lease out, pack my things, and go somewhere else. I knew after the first 3 weeks I was here that this was not the place for me. And I told her at the office, I said, when my lease is done, go ahead and plan on finding someone else because I'm not comfortable living here. It feels like I live in a senior citizen's home. These people don't even bother half the time to get dressed. They just wander around out in the halls in their jammies and stuff, which I found very embarrassing for my nephew. Um, it's just not for me. But in order to get myself out of here, I'm going to have to sell pretty much everything I own. You know, I'm going to tell you who I think would make a great president out of all of the people that are in our community. I'm nominating Muscle Shell. Let's make Muscle Shell president. He is just good to everybody. But anyway, I'm going to run because I got a bunch of stuff to do. I will be back at 6 o'clock this evening. I do have some giveaways for tonight. I do have some interesting articles. And who knows what else? Because who knows what the heck is going to happen between now and 6 o'clock around this place. My new name for it, and I apologize if I am offensive, but my name for this place is Hillbilly Hell. And the only good part about this town is it has good music. So anyway, I got to go load up some plants, head out to the farm, go by the bank, take care of some business, call a couple lawyers, call a doctor or two. So I'll be back at 6 o'clock, and I hope y'all will too. And everybody have a great day. Be nice to everybody. There's no reason for all of this hate that's going. You know, this country has become so divided over such stupid things that we just need to stop it and try and be a little bit nicer to everybody. We should all try to be nice like Miss Southern Belle. There you go. And I'll see y'all later, like around 6. Take care, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you soon. Bye.